Happy Valentine's Day. I have probably a pretty unusual Valentine's Day message. It is about love, and I'm going to start with just say no. Now, how does that phrase, just say no, that Nancy Reagan established in 1986 to bring drug awareness, how does just say no have anything to do with love and Valentine's Day? Well, follow me, and hopefully by the end you're going to understand and you're going to receive this message. We as Americans are a nation of people who are spiritually and mentally and physically unhealthy. We are, as a nation, we're just exhausted, we're burned out, and we're weary. So I think, and I've heard this phrase from others, I have not created this phrase myself, I think we're a nation of human doers instead of human beings. But God created us to be human beings. So can just say no become a way to correct this? And if it is it biblical? So let's start there, because it is biblical. And I'm going to read to you from Matthew 22, verses 37 through 39, and this is the New Living Translation. And Jesus replied, "You must love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. A second is equally important. Love your neighbor as yourself." If we don't love ourselves, we can't effectively love others or God. So, how do we begin? How do you begin? Now, what I'm proposing is just one part. It's just a very simple start. There's more to this, but I don't have all the time that I can tell you and teach you everything about this. But I'm going to give you that starting point. And it is to recognize your limitations. We all have them. And in this nation, in the United States of America, we are not good at recognizing our limitations. In fact, we ignore them. And that's one of the reasons why we're so unhealthy. So you have to recognize your limitations and begin to say, just say no, to those people who are asking things of you, requiring things of you that don't bring you life, that only contribute to that unhealth that I've talked about. And you know what? Sometimes it's even you. It's not always other people. We can tend to have very high standards and demands of ourselves that really aren't necessary and aren't life-giving. So it can be other people, and it can also be you. So you have to begin to recognize when someone's asking you for something, and you've got that voice that comes up in your mind that says, how am I going to make this happen? Or when do I have time to do this? When you start hearing those kind of little warning bells ringing in your mind, that's probably telling you this is an area that you need help with. This is an area you need to change. This is an area that is a limitation for you. And you have to begin ordering your life in a way that brings life, not exhaustion. So, you have to start making some subtractions. We're going to do some math. We're going to do some subtraction, and we're going to do some addition. Now, everybody's limitations are different. So everybody's subtractions are going to be maybe a little different. This isn't cookie cutter, but here's some examples. You may need to subtract some hobbies. You may need to subtract some social media. You may need to subtract some of your kids' sports. You may need to subtract TV time. And you know what? You might even need to subtract some church obligations. That's a sticky one. I've had to do this. When I went through my depression back in 2014, I had to subtract everything because I was so sick I couldn't do anything. But when I came out of that, I also had to reevaluate my life prior to my depression and take a look at it. And I was doing way too much. I was stretched way too thin. And I had to make some subtractions, and actually some of those were even responsibilities within my church. And it was okay. It's okay. Now, you also have to do some other math, like I said, some additions. So what are these additions? Well, I think these are going to be pretty universal for everyone in this nation, in America. And that is to add some sleep and add some healthy diet and add some exercise and add some worship time and prayer time and Bible study and add that time every day of being with the Lord. So, subtractions and additions. In the end, you're going to be physically, mentally, and spiritually healthier. You're going to be a person who can better love others and better love God because you've learned how to just say no to things, people, requirements in your life that are not bringing health. You're going to become more of a human being instead of a human doing. So I'm going to really challenge you just to ponder that. Think about this. Examine your life. And when you start hearing those little warning bells in your mind, those questions when something's being asked of you, to be able to just say no and then become the person God created you to be. So happy Valentine's Day. I hope this has been a message of love, a way to learn how to love yourself so that you can better love others and love God. My name is Candy Rice, and I am the founder of Living Hope, and this is a ministry that teaches the physical, mental, and spiritual healing truths that the Lord has taught me. If you would like me to come speak at your church, at a meeting, a retreat, a conference, any kind of group setting, just contact me through my website, livinghope@candyrice.org, and I would be so glad to come and share. Be blessed today, and happy Valentine's Day to you.